All right, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sandeep.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Bhakti. So today we have only 2 or 3 participants.
I will put message in the group, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon, Naren.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon. Sorry,
I was waiting for you because you're the coordinator for this class.
I was into another meeting just now. I seen the go 12:04 हो गया. Then I left that and joined here. I know, because I was the coordinator.
Thank you so much for joining in.
एंड वो जो ग्रुप था मैम, हमने ग्रुप में सब डिस्कस किया एंड इन स्पाइट ऑफ दैट इन in our original session, we were around 15 plus participants, 15 to 20.
Correct.
Then out of that, in spite of my repeated push, हमें कुछ volunteers मिले, and this is the list I'm typing in the chat box. I have written in the chat box.
Okay.
So I don't know how many of them are available today. So this is the list, and we have done. Actually, I was also too much busy, and I was into the mood of making this summary of group 2, 5, and 6 also, but I couldn't do that. But I completed my group 3 part anyhow.
Okay. All right. So let's see how many are present. It's already 12:06.
Yeah, 6.
So maybe, whoever is here, we can start with them because otherwise we'll be just wasting our time.
Ma'am, one request is there.
Yes.
Suppose, like maybe if participants join after 10 minutes, so in 10 minutes, shall we do any activity, small activity, so that they will also join in 10 minutes and we can also enjoy an activity?
Okay, Bhakti, all yours. You can conduct our activity for all of us.
Okay. It's activities similar to what you did. So your name is like my name is Bhakti. So with every letter, write a positive adjective that you are or you want to be.
Bhakti, you saw my name, no? It is so long.
So you
You
have 10
want an
minutes.
adjective for Simantini.
You have 10 minutes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I'm sure you will do it in 2 minutes.
No, well, that's very ambitious, but okay, let's try. So for every letter of our name,
Yeah. You have to
beginning
write a
from that,
positive
you want
adjective.
an adjective.
That you think that defines you.
Okay, all right. Let me try. This is to be done by everybody, right?
Yes, it means if they are willing, because I am not the trainer, so I can't say by authority. If they are
No,
willing, they
no, for
can.
this particular activity, you're the trainer. You really made me work, huh, Bhakti? But
I
I'm
think
done. So we can start
okay.
with anybody else who is finished.
Yes. Who wants to break the ice? Yes. Karishma, Prince, anybody who has done?
I'm also done.
Naren done? Okay. Naren, you can start.
Okay, should I start? So
Yes,
my
please.
file letter is NAREN. So N is navigator, जो सीमांतिनी मैम ने बोला था. So yes, I like to take initiative and navigate any activity like that. And A is adaptive. I'm quick to change and quick to adapt new things. R is resilient. I'm strong enough to bear any kind of change or any kind of obstacles I face on the way. Then E is empathetic. I'm very sensitive towards what others feel of me, about me, or about emotions and all. N is novice. I'm a keen learner and I consider myself a novice into each and every aspect. That's why I keep learning and keep learning. Thank you.
Nice. Very good.
Very
Thanks.
good. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. Next,
Next one.
anybody else?
Yes, Bhakti from Yogesh.
Yes, sir. Yogesh, sir. Yes,
Yogesh,
please.
Yogesh, what means yo, hello. So it's a joyful. Okay, we say hello. So yo, Anishing, like that. Okay.
Okay.
So O is for obedient, observant. G guilty again for this joy and cheerfulness. E energetic and entertaining. S for simple and H for honest.
G, it will be
G
joy
for
cannot be.
guilty. Yeah, guilty.
Okay.
Guide.
Yeah. Guide again, it's joyful, cheerful.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, madam is left, no, Simanti madam.
Simantini ma'am is, yeah, is this there? But anybody else, like, okay. So, ma'am, if you have finished, so please.
Okay, so Simantini, long name,
Hmm.
sensitive, initiative, methodical, adaptive. That is A. N is naive in many places. I take everything at face value, trust too much. Then thoughtful, inclusive, nurturing, and imaginative.
Wow.
Mm.
Very nice.
It was tough, the I especially. But
Yes.
when you think about it, you get it, and they're very apt. So thank you, Bhakti, for this exercise. It's
Actually, it makes you think. That's why I like this exercise. That
yes,
initially we feel like, oh my God, my name is so big. But I would say it has given you more scope to think.
yes,
It is one
absolutely
of the
correct.
best energizer.
Uh, icebreaker, sir.
Sorry, icebreaker. Yes. Correct. We actually one session is already happened, so it is we are in between, no? So energizer is also needed.
So today is a revision class. Now we have to implement.
So that
So
is why.
Bhakti is very careful. There is a difference
Correct,
between an
correct,
icebreaker and an energizer, and she's
correct,
ensuring that it
correct,
is
correct.
done.
So I am correlating that one session is already left, so it is the session like that.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else who has
Yes,
finished this
ma'am.
activity?
Let me
Yes,
try.
ma'am. Sandeep here.
Yes,
So
sir.
Sandeep means a light of lamp. So as I always to light to 2 hours. So why lighting a lamp? So I believe my name is just starting with the S. S basically strength. I mean my strength. A for aspirations and for nurturing, and D for determination for any work. E for elegant and E for empathy, and the P for I am always positive.
Very nice. Only E for you can say empathetic instead of empathy.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and A for ambition instead you can say ambitious.
MBC. Oh,
Wonderful.
She's
Okay.
the great teacher, making a difference between a adjective and a noun.
Now,
right, ma'am. Right, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I
okay.
think but
Let me
it's
try, Deshiki.
12:16. We'll take
Yeah.
last one and then
Last
we'll.
one. Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yes.
Sheshagiri. So I have repetitive letters also. Sweet,
Okay.
ebullientious, energetic, social, honest, articulate, goodness, initiative, uh, then remembered. I want to be remembered for certain things, and intuitive. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so same. Remember, you can say what A? What did you say from A?
Articulate.
Has okay. So articulative, you can say.
Okay, articulate.
Bhakti ma'am, A for apple is.
A for sorry.
A for
I'm saying
apple.
A for apple, he said.
Correct, correct, correct. Okay.
Or I thought like apple keeps doctor away, so something like that.
No,
Okay.
my son is a doctor, so I cannot do
Oh.
So apples are banned in your house, huh?
that. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So Bhakti,
Ma'am,
thank
shall
you
I
very
share
much.
mine? Ma'am, shall I
Yes,
share
please.
mine?
Yes.
Okay, actually, I also set and I just tried. B for balanced, H for honest, A for adaptive or able, K for keen learner, T for thinker, I for innovative.
Wonderful.
How awesome.
And I would suggest like rather than going for net or ChatGPT, think more on this because many times we know, but we don't try.
Yeah.
Ma'am, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Simantini ma'am,
Yes, Karishma.
ma'am, I know you really want to begin with the class, but there is someone as Shri Prakash. I think the mouse is moving, ma'am. It's moving the eyebrows and it's 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 incredible. I thought it can talk too.
Eyebrows are also moving.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wonderful that is. All right. So, Naren, thank you very much for taking up this responsibility of coordinating with everybody and, coming up with this revision class. Like I said, it just gives you an opportunity to go through a little bit of every topic in detail. And you get likely questions that might be asked, likely cases that might be asked. So it just makes everybody's life a little easier. What will I do as a revision? I will ask you if there are any questions. And my experience has been that nobody has any questions. So I'll kind of just revise everything that I've done over the 9 weeks, 9 sessions that we had, which doesn't really help anybody. So therefore, this way of revising the whole class. So I think Mayank was going to take group 1, but topic 1, but he's not available. Right? So let's go to directly. Nobody's taken the second topic at all. Naren, you're the one who's taken the third topic. So you can maybe start. The third topic
ma'am.
was
Okay.
on session plans.
Okay, so Mayank is not there, right?
No.
Okay. Okay, let me start. Can you enable the screen share for me?
One.
It must be into host tools.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm able to do that. Now, the topic is about session plan. So, मुझे नहीं लगा इसमें से कोई क्वेश्चन होगा अदर देन कि आप एक सैम्पल सेशन प्लान बनाइए ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ एनी टॉपिक गिवन सो लेट मी एक्सप्लेन फर्स्ट अबाउट द सेशन प्लान व्हाट इज सेशन प्लान सो सेशन प्लान कंटेन्स मोर देन व्हाट ए लेसन प्लान कंटेन्स तो अर्लियर हमने सब यही जानते कि लेसन प्लान इज ऑल अबाउट व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू कवर इनटू आवर ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम during live execution. However, session plans includes the pre-training actions and post-training actions as well, and including logistics and all preparation. So its definition goes like this: the depiction of PEDA Uji, and activities to be used during the session. It includes activities before the training session, during the training session, and after the training session. Then what are the steps to prepare a training, this session plan? So session plan contains these 6 main key pointers. First one is learning objectives. In learning objectives, it should be there that what is to be covered, why is it important to the audience, and how you are going to evaluate the learning on the what are the criteria and how what will be the evaluation method you will be using. Then next is relevant and related concepts. So after you kickstart the session, you should have in hand concepts and theories what you are going to explain, which are relevant to the topic, so that audience can build a good context for that session. Then flow of delivery is to be planned, that uh, in the initial of the session, what you are going to cover, mid of the session, what you are covering, and end of the session, how you are concluding it, how you are starting it, including icebreaker, Q&A session, feedback, polls, if you are going to present any poll in between, like that. So flow of the delivery should be prepared well in advance as a part of the session plan. Then finalizing the methods and techniques, as we know that we have read in our previous modules, previous semester, lecture, demonstration, discussions and debates, online learning, role play, case studies, simulations, sensitivity, training games. On the basis of the applicability, as per the content of the training, we can choose our method. Then include evaluation. I have already covered how we are going to evaluate. Then allocation of time for each and every activity of sub part of the session. Uh, what time we are going to give in for the initial ice breaking activity. Then conclusion में हम कितना time रखेंगे, वो सारी चीजें it should be well planned. It should be part of the session plan. Then other factors should also be considered. These I have taken from the book. फॉलो एडल्ट लर्निंग प्रिंसिपल्स, बिकॉज हम सारे के सारे स्टूडेंट्स को पढ़ाने में नहीं है टीजीटी पीजीटी, सो लाइक दैट हमें हमेशा एडल्ट लर्निंग प्रिंसिपल्स को फॉलो करना है. और इफ देयर इज मिसिंग मिसिंग थिंग्स इनटू द लर्निंग, देन सर्टेनली आप कोई ना कोई लर्निंग एडल्ट लर्निंग प्रिंसिपल को मिस कर रहे होंगे. सो that is very important. Establish learning objectives at the start and end with what you achieved. Then smart objectives, objective जो है वो ऐसे रखने हैं कि it should be specific, measurable against predetermined criteria, attainable and realistic होने चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं कि हम 600 लोगों को ये सारी चीजें सिखा देंगे. 600 लोगों को इतनी चीजें सीख जाएंगे, ये ऑब्जेक्टिव है, और लास्ट में उसमें से कितनी सीखे. Relevant to the business context, business and the learners, दोनों के से रिलेवेंट होने चाहिए ऐसे ऑब्जेक्टिव्स. एंड टाइम अलॉटमेंट. देन वेल थॉट आउट स्ट्रक्चर, प्रिपेयर मटेरियल pre and post well in advance. What we are going to have into the feedback form, like that each and everything we should how we are going to present that data जो हमें feedback form में मिला, whether it will be in the form of a graphical representation or like how we are going to, and how we are going to complete the loop. Out of that feedback, how we are optimizing our training, that should also be figured out beforehand. Then work out logistics in advance, from where resources are going to come in, कहाँ से हम सारी चीजें वो लेके आने वाले हैं. Then this is the template. This is the standard template as given into the book. So sample session plan, it is not a sample because I didn't have enough time to fill it up. So organization, name of the organization, then training session title. What is the title of that particular session? Session objectives. We can write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 key objectives, and we should stick to these key objectives throughout the session. Date of the training, date and timing, duration, number of the participants, or we can say segment of the participants, trainers, name and organization. If you are sourcing the trainer from the outside, then material needed. Is there any material needed during the training logistics requirement and other admin things we can mention here. Then details, if we are conducting a number of sessions, then timing, coverage, what are the tools for that particular session, material needed, and name of the trainer who is going to cover. Then comments, if there is anything left which is not covered into these columns, then we can write it down into the comments. So this is the only question we can expect out of this, that prepare a session plan on so and so topic for so and so audiences, and this is the number of participants. So that's up to you, up to me, ma'am, because इतनी देर में 3 मिनट में इतना ही हो पाता.
Wonderfully done. Naren, very good use of mind maps. So very well done. And you've covered almost everything. So congratulations and thank you.
Welcome, ma'am.
So others, any questions on this? Like Naren said, they will possibly be asking you for a session plan for a particular program.
It has already been asked into our assignments, so I don't think you main में रहेगा. Maybe हो सकता है, but this is the bread and butter for us, all of us.
Yes, correct. Great. All right. So we can go to group 4, that is Mayuri Raj. Yes, Bhakti, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, this is the session plan, but outline, is training outline differs from this, or do you have any template, which can help me to understand the outline of the training?
Outline would be just, one topic after the other. There is no template as such.
I'm asking in the sense, like mostly what happens, those who are the freelancers, they ask for giving an outline of the program. So after looking at that, they approve whether to go for it or not.
Yes.
So if you have any a template of outline or something.
So in that case, जो template, whatever I've shared, just now also what Naren shared, उसमें से बाकी के details हटा दो. Only the course coverage, जो एक के नीचे एक आता है ना, so methodology हटा दो, timings हटा दो. You may give it as day 1, day 2, day 3, or you could just plainly give a session 1, session 2, session 3, session 4.
Okay.
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 So who's going to take methodology क्या है? What is the expected learning outcome from that topic? ये देने की जरूरत नहीं है.
Okay.
However, the before the table ऊपर वाला जो था, उसमें से major things दे देना. Like, participant profile कैसी होनी चाहिए? Like, is it for senior management, middle management, freshers के लिए है क्या? What are the learning objectives क्या है? And what are the learning outcomes क्या है? Duration, timing, ये सब आ जाएगा. Material, etc. If it is needed from a client, like, we need enough space for taking activities. So वो जाने दो, वो उसमें दे दो. Methodology is also, instead of giving it against every activity, you can give a generic methodology that all points or all topics will be covered using, andragogy, experiential learning, case studies, वगैरह वगैरह ऐसा. Don't have to give it against each.
Okay.
Okay, subtopics को भी मत देना. I am also a freelancer like you, and my experience has been detail में दिया तो they do it themselves.
Okay.
They take everything from you and then they'll tell you कि नहीं वो थोड़ा ये हो गया, management में मना कर दिया, next time कर लेंगे, next quarter कर लेंगे, and then you find out it's been already run by somebody else from the organization or maybe some other their contacts.
Correct.
So don't divulge. I mean, this is away from our sessions, but don't divulge too much information unless you're 100% sure of the client.
Correct.
Some clients also ask you for detailed session plans, which we are talking about. You can give it to them provided you have enough trust in them, or you can tell them that unless I sign a contract, I will not be able to provide for it.
Correct. Absolutely right, ma'am.
Okay, great. So is Mayuri Raj here? No, I don't think so. Okay, Dipti is also not here. Okay, so group 8, Bhakti, it's all yours now.
Ma'am, I think you have to give me access to share the screen.
I gave it to all participants.
Is it just a minute? Ah. Ma'am, is it visible?
Yes.
Okay, just a minute. Uh, just a minute. Is slideshow visible, ma'am?
Yes, visible.
Oh,
Please
okay,
proceed.
okay. Okay, so I'm in the group 8. So the topics are stage fright and body language. So first, let's see stage fright. So the question was asked, that is, what is stage fright and what are the ways to take care of it? So first, let's start with what is stage fright. So if I put it in simple terms, it is just the stress and anxiety to perform in front of the audience. That is what stage fright is. So actually the exact term is performance anxiety, which is also called stage fright. If I elaborate it a bit more, so it is a feeling of nervousness, fear, or dread, that arises because you have to perform. So that is what stage fright is. And this is something, that can affect anyone, not necessarily the one who is presenting, but the one who is speaking, who is acting, who is singing. Anybody can, affect by that, or anybody can witness that. Now, what are the common symptoms for these? So the common symptoms are all these, like dry mouth, racing pulse, sweaty hands, vision changes, sometimes even blank mind. So these are the common symptoms. Maybe some people would be having different symptoms. Mainly, I felt dry mouth and racing pulse. You can just see which one you faced or experienced. Shall we move to next? Okay, now how to take care of it. So basically, what is the main thing how you can take care is to accept it. That to accept is that it's okay to have a stage fright, and we need not to prove ourselves to anybody. Just be as you are, like, okay, I'm like that, so no need to just prove it to others. Mostly it happens because you want to prove it that I'm the best or like that. Next way is to redirect your negative thoughts, beliefs, or whatever the predictions are there. So, and even you can do that with positive affirmations by saying that's okay. Let me give a try. Let me try my level best. Okay, I will improve. And lastly, you should keep it in mind that nobody is perfect, and everybody makes mistakes, and we are human. Here I just want to make one point. Like, mostly, frankly speaking, I like the movies which are based on real life stories, or which I can relate to. And why I like that? Because I want real people. So that's why we have to keep it in mind. This thing, that be natural. No need to do the artificial work. Now, next is practical tips. Even though we have accepted it, all these things are there, but what should we do when exactly it happened? So the first 2 points are that we have to do beforehand. We can't do at that moment. So the first two are preparation, practice, and rehearse. One has to prepare well, practice, and rehearse. Rehearsal could be done either one can do mirror activity, that is the best thing to do, or if you are another important thing is you have to eat a substantial meal before few hours of your presentation. If you don't do that, then chances are more that you will get stage fright, because you won't be having energy, then you will be having shaky hands, you will be having shaking voice, so chances will be more. Now next steps are that you have to do at that particular moment: taking sips of water, deep breathing exercises, positive affirmations, like you can say, that's okay. I'm learning, I'm in the learning stage, and let me try, let me give my best. Another thing, shifting the focus from myself to deliverable. Rather than thinking how I'm going to perform, how it's going to be, rather than that, let's add value to it. Let me try my best. Connect with the audience. That is the best way. Smile, make eye contact, think as if they are your friends. And lastly, be natural and yourself. That try to be natural, don't need to be artificial, overdo of something to impress others. Just be natural. And last 2 points that happens with practice. That is adopt a growth focused mindset that what will happen if I'm not able to deliver or what's your okay, that I will have some learnings. I will apply those in the next one. So okay, at this point, let me try my best. Mindfulness, try to be more mindful at that particular moment, and with practice, it happens. Meditation also, every day if you are doing, then it will be useful. It may or may not if you do on that day only. Maybe you're sitting for meditation on that day, it didn't work. In one day, obviously, it won't work. So, with practice, these two things will happen. So, pre at that moment, and we can say with practice, these are the things. Okay, so any questions on this? That is all about stage fright. Any questions? Okay, so shall we move on to next body language? Okay, so body language, as we know, the non-verbal clues. Here we are talking in the context of participants. Okay, so the question is that as a trainer or presenter, what are the non-verbal clues or body language that you should observe in your audience, and how will you take care of them if required? So first thing, why it is essential to look at their non-verbal clues or how it will help us. So the two things. The first one is to gauge their engagement, understanding, and interest. We would come to know that whether they were understood or not, how much engaged they are they interested or not? And accordingly, we can adjust our approach. As we earlier also talked, like if we feel, you know, their energy is going down, we can use an energizer, we can use some group activities, okay, or we can crack some jokes. So when we come to know, okay, this is the some negative non-verbal clues we are getting, so accordingly we can take the measures. Now let's see the non-verbal clues. So the most common clues by which we can understand is like all these: eye contact, posture, facial expression, and these are the most common one. Eye contact, like suppose if they're making eye contact, it's a positive gesture that yes, they are making eye contact. That means they are attentive, they are interested. If they are not making eye contact, they're looking at their phones, they're looking here and there. So we can understand that, we are not able to connect with them, or they are not able to connect with the topic. Then what could be done here? So in case of in this thing, some activity could be small, activity could be introduced that can re-energize them, get their focus, and then again back to the topic. Or we can take their opinion in the sense of their life experiences. We can ask for the inputs from their side. Like if they are in this, we can give a scenario. If they are in this situation, what they will do. But as per their non-verbal clues, we have to decide which activity to take and how to execute it. Posture, like suppose if they're sitting straight, slightly leaning forward, so that is a positive gesture that they are interested, they're attentive, they're getting it. And suppose if they're leaning back or if they're slouching, so that is something, negative clues we are getting. So again, here we have to see like what's going wrong, or maybe they are tired, or it's a lengthy session, something would be there. So here we can use some measures here, so we can crack a joke here, like that we can do. Facial expressions, again, if we see the blank faces, so we can understand that they are not able to get it what we are trying to say. So here we can take some measures, like we can clarify, we can give more examples, relevant examples to that, or we can take a case study to make them understand that point. Head movement, if they're nodding, that shows again, yes, they're able to get that point. And suppose if they are seeing here, there, so obviously, again, we can understand that they find it boring. So we have to make it something, either they are feeling it's more complex, so we have to simplify it, or we have to find out like a way energize or something we can take. Hand movement, again, if they are using their hands, or so we can make out that okay, they are interested. But suppose for long they're sitting in the same posture and same hand, and or suppose they're playing with something, some objects, maybe it could be their habit, as ma'am said, we have to be cautionate about it, maybe their habit. But maybe if then they are not making eye contact, and with that they are playing with the object, then maybe they're finding it boring, or they're not able to understand it. So accordingly we have to do here, we can use a group activity that they can relate to and they can enjoy, or we can take a role play kind of thing that they can do, and with that they can understand the concept. Then feet positioning, if their feet are towards you, that means they're attentive. And suppose they're continuously shaking their legs, or it could be their habit, but if we, as ma'am told, that we have to observe if it is going on for long, then again it could be a clue that they are not able to get it. So again we have to make the necessary changes for that. Overall energizers are the best for that. Any activity, small activity, we can plan out. Responsiveness, as one more thing ma'am told, that is questions. Ask the questions, but it's important to ask the question at the right time, and you know ask the close-ended questions rather than the open-ended. And when the close-ended they started responding, then you can just frame open-ended or relevant questions. So these are the non-verbal clues we get, and we have to take care of it so that we can adjust accordingly. And the session objective will be met because of these things. Now, final tips: seek feedback, be adaptable, and pause effectively. Many a times it happens that session won't be wow session. That's okay, but there will be learnings from that, and one can apply that for the coming sessions. Be adaptable. With practice we understand that how to be adaptable actually. And take pauses, as ma'am told, it's always good to take pauses rather sorry, rather than fillers and all these words. So take pauses to, pauses are also for, so that it will help them to adjust or digest that what you have taught them, what you have taught them. So that is about the body language. And now what I want to ask you the questions that now you tell me, and ma'am, not for you, the 5 positive body language cues and 5 negative body language cues.
Positive
Anybody can
would be if
unmute and
somebody is nodding their head.
nodding their head, yes.
Mm.
Head, that is positive body language, correct.
Eye contacts with
Eye
the trainer.
contact,
Yeah.
yes, positive body language.
Leaning
Uh,
forward.
Asking
Sorry,
question.
ask.
Can we say
Oh,
asking
okay,
questions?
asking question, yes, positive body language. Yeah.
Sitting in attention mode, like not sit, back with his.
Straight. Straight using, sir.
Yes, sitting straight, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in negative, we can say, like you just mentioned, somebody shaking their legs, probably they're not understanding.
Mm-hmm. Or
Slouching. Yeah.
leaning
What?
back, yeah.
Leaning back. Yeah. Like very relaxed, maybe not very attentive
Hmm.
in the training. What else could be? Probably others could add. I mean,
Even
that's
During the
like
training, mobile using habit, mobile using his
yeah,
tab.
okay. Yeah, using the cell phone. That could
yes,
be one
looking
of,
at the cell phones, yeah.
yeah. Um,
Talking with peers.
Hmm. Talking with peers, actually we have to
Body
make out,
language. Yeah.
we have to make out like they want to discuss something, because sometimes that also happens that it triggers some point and they want to discuss it with peer, and you thought, why are you talking? So we have to find out whether it's a genuine talk or whether it's an uh, means something like which is distracting others.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Right. In
So even
advance,
we
they
can
should be.
we can plan a group activity here that they want to discuss about it. So we can plan a group activity at that time if that is the case. What else? Negative body language. And one more point, I think ma'am told that when somebody is leaning back, like especially the senior person, so it may be our tone is more dictating kind of. So we have to be more open tone and inviting tone. We have to invite their inputs so we can understand by that for sure.
Interesting observation.
Yes. Any other negative body language cue?
Some,
Positive more are there, huh? Negative.
I think Ramesh has mentioned in the chat, closed posture, rolling eyes, and avoiding eye contact.
Yes.
I hope this person is not having anxiety attack, ma'am.
And sometimes
L-
some people will be sitting like this. So close posture is they don't want to, listen to the closed posture. That is also.
Yeah. Yeah, like their hands are crossed. It means they're not
Hmm.
very open to what is being told to them,
Yes,
or probably
yes,
they're not accepting what is being discussed.
yes. They feel like I know everything. You tell.
Yeah, right, right.
Hari in a meeting, so he want
Responding.
to close.
Sorry.
That's a negative body language. No, that's not a negative. I think sir is saying he has to go for a meeting.
Okay, okay.
I don't know in which category would you put that, but sometimes in audience,
We can say
I
giving
start.
excuses. Giving excuses to go out of room because they don't feel interested or they don't find it useful.
Bad arguments maybe happen during the meetings.
I would say rather than bad arguments, intentionally arguing.
But ma'am, Bhakti ma'am, that would not come under body language. No, I mean,
That were correct. It's not a non-verbal clue.
yeah, yeah.
Good catch, Karishma. See,
Having
Then
that's
drowsy
from a
another learning
fighting,
over here, that we get sidetracked from our topic by a question like this. So you might want to answer it, but you have to come back to our question that it's a wonderful point. However, it doesn't come under body language.
Right, ma'am.
having drowsy eyes, yawning.
Correct.
Sir, maybe BP is low, sir.
rolling chair in the sense, move the chairs up side by side. It may be bad.
ADHD, sir. Sir, ADHD.
Yes. So many,
Sitting,
they have given the many more.
Yes.
So
sitting
that's it.
with closed eyes. Sitting with closed eyes.
So
Closed
tired, sir.
eyes. So
So
taking a
tired.
nap or what?
Because
Listening to.
Meditation,
closed,
Bhakti
Kind
ma'am.
of nap.
ma'am, closed eyes means sleeping, huh?
No, no,
No, no.
meditation,
I'm saying one
meditation.
need to find out whether it's listening attentively, or
No,
taking a nap.
no, no, ma'am. One if you 30 minutes plus meeting, some people are closed eyes for for sleeping mode.
So that
Aeroplane mode, sir.
so that's what, like, some activity would be taken here.
So they goes into their flight mode. They're not receiving and transmitting.
And one more negative body language, but yeah, not responding to questions that won't be we can say non-verbal clue.
Yes.
But not responding, we can say we are asking question, but they are not interested or responding.
They are not raising hands each and every
Hmm.
time we ask to raise whoever is interested. They are not raising their hands if they are interested, and not in the other answer also they are not raising.
Yes. So that's it from my side, ma'am. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
It was
you.
wonderful.
Thank you, Bhakti. Very well done.
I hope it will be useful.
I'm sure it will be useful because
Yes,
you've
it
given
was.
a very exhaustive answer to the question itself. Very good. Okay, so let's go back to our chat box. Anybody else is here now? Manasvi Rana? I don't think. Sandeep Jain is not there. Shivai is not there. Okay, so then none of the other topics have been taken.
But Joe has sent me message that she'll not be available due to some sudden commitment. However, she told that Sandeep or Shivai may be there and they'll cover.
Both of them are not here. Sandeep Jain is not there and Shivai is also not there.
Okay, okay.
All right. So,
Ma'am, one question I want to ask. वो एक आप presentation how to prepare the presentation वो एक session आप लेने वाले थे whether वो जो आपने presentation कैसे content क्या है वो जो session था was that the part of the what you mentioned जो आप करने वाले थे कि presentation कैसे बनाना है वो भी एक मैं additional class में cover करूंगी आप सब लोगों के लिए. It is very easy.
how to prepare a PowerPoint? Are you asking?
Yes, yes.
So we discussed this in our class on audio-visual aids.
Audio visual aids.
So let me just pull up the slides for that. Let me, if we have it ready. Okay.
And for class 7, we didn't receive any recording and PPT also.
Class 7.
Yes.
Okay, class 7 was on stage fright and non-verbals. Okay, I'll send it again. Okay, so let me just share this. So we talked about audio-visual aids, and basically, if you have to kind of just bifurcate them.
Yes, yes.
Name is simple. Audio-visual aids, matlab audio, visual, and audio-visual.
Visual.
Now, under visuals, we'll get projected and non-projected. Okay,
yes.
audio, we know audio-visual will be actually moving. So movies, video clips, YouTube videos, all this comes under that. Now, projected visual aids ke under, we get PowerPoint presentations. So let me just pull up those slides for PowerPoint presentations. All right. So while you're preparing slides, things to keep in mind is that they should grab attention. Okay, so visually pleasing hone chahiye. People should feel like looking at them. It should convey the desired information. The purpose is to focus attention of the trainee on a specific content. All right. So, and also it helps the presenter to systematically continue, the flow of the presentation. So every time the new slide comes, you know what the next topic is. Ideally, you should be knowing it in your mind thoroughly, but this is like a plan B, backup. कि अगर, suddenly you're at a loss, okay, आगे क्या करना है, your next slide will give you an idea. All right. So, present one idea or one concept on a slide. Okay, don't add lots and lots of data. So you're talking about, let's say, body language. Bhakti prepared 3-4 different slides, right? When Naren showed the mind map, definition dikhaya, he removed the definition. Then when he's talking about the steps, ek step ka dikhaya, then he removed that. So similarly, if you want to convert that mind map into a slide, every slide you should present one idea or one concept. Okay. And, even on that one idea, aise wale slides mat banana. This is like, too much data in one slide. So there are some maps, there are some graphs, there is written things, there are dates, there are totals. It just doesn't make any sense. Nobody will understand anything that you are wanting to share in this slide. You could see PowerPoint doesn't cost us anything. So if you want to really explain maybe this particular graph, show only that graph and explain it. Okay. Then maybe you don't have too much written things, but look at the number of things that you are given here. So many legends are put in, so many, which may all this, some kind of process is given here. So avoid these kind of very, very busy slides. Large font size. So one idea, one concept, and print in large letters. So normally I have also observed people use 12 and 14 as the font size. Now that is really not good when you're in a training program, because if it is maybe acceptable if we are like sharing slide on Zoom, because you're seeing it on your screen, I'm showing it on my screen. Doesn't matter if the font size is 12 or 14. But if you're going to go in a training room, the font size 12, 14 is going to be very, very small. People will not be able to read it. Okay. Then how many lines in a slide? 6 to 7 lines. Lines, okay? I'm not talking about sentences. I'm talking about lines. And every line should have about 6 or 7 words. Now, colors, it's so easy to add color in PowerPoint, but keep in mind certain things, like contrast. So if your background is green and you're typing in something else, so this upar wale jo hai, they are not good color contrast. The ones which are below are good colors contrast. So this, what Bhakti made just now, white plain slides and black font. Very clear. Now this also black background with the yellow font. It looks very good. Okay, it's very attractive. It's very clear as well. But there was one time, that I was taking a session and they had this, they had the screen, that was, not put against a wall. That whole screen was put against a window. So there was a lot of light coming from behind the screen. So that black of mine started looking gray, a horrible gray. And then the yellow couldn't be seen at all. So, at that moment, I had to go and change it. I had to go to the master slide, remove the black, change the font color to black. And, last minute, it just puts you under a lot of stress. So keep all these things in mind while using colors. So combine colors that have great contrast. It's very, very easy for people to see and read and use them. Also keep in mind that on the computer, some contrasts look very good, like the one on the left. So red and blue against a black background look fantastic over there on your laptop. But when they're projected, this is how they look. So the clarity is lost. So keeping it simple is a little better. Also, when you're using colors, don't use background like this, because you can't read anything on this. Okay, so keep it simple is what I would like, but it should be attractive, right? Then ensure that the animation and graphics that are used are not distracting. Okay, so sometimes, you have one line and people have put in, animation where one word is coming, one letter is coming. And it makes a noise, tuck, 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 and then it comes. So if you're using animation, use it because there's a purpose. Like suppose you've written a, heading. What is body language? You want your participants to think over it, answer it. And then you want to add your points, then you can use animation. But use broad animation, let it fly in fast. बहुत slow आके, घूम के आके, all those animations are more distracting than anything else. Okay. Transitions also, transitions also you can be put between two slides. But check out whether it is really distracting. It should be quick and fast. Okay. These kind of transitions or these kind of slides, too much of color, too much of fonts, and too many arrows are not really something that we should be doing. And this takes such a long time to make. So they are very difficult to make, but and not very good also. Okay, if you're using a pointer, make sure to keep the focus on the trainees. So you don't read from your slides. You should look at your slides, maybe a word or two, sentence or two, a point or two, and then turn your focus on the trainees. Okay. Face the trainees, not the screen when you're speaking. Make sure that the right image is being projected. So that is something, a common mistake that happens, that you got a slide, you are looking at the audience, you're describing, the slide, you're talking about it. Then you go on to the next point, you've forgotten to change the slide. You go to the third point, you're still on slide number 1. So this happens very often. In fact, I've seen a lot of chief guests doing that. Slide badalte hi nahi. In the flow of thoughts, they will continue talking. And then once they turn back and they'll realize, oh, I didn't change the slide. And then they start changing the slide and they kind of repeat everything that is there in the slide. In case you actually miss out, but you've already discussed it, you already talked about it, you can say, oh, I missed, make it a big, humorous thing and a common, like Bhakti said, we are all humans. So you made a mistake. So I forgot to change the slides, but you change the slide, this point has been covered. Change the next slide, this point is covered. Okay, now we come to this slide. Okay. If necessary, turn to the visual to identify a point and then turn back to the trainees to speak. So if you really have to read it. Another thing that you have to take care of is the, whether the screen is available, visible to everybody. So seating arrangements and where is the screen is what you have to take care of. Okay. So I think somewhere down the line in this class itself, we have discussed various kind of seating arrangements and what would be the best position to put your screen. Okay, very large training rooms usually have multiple screens so that people can see it from everywhere. Now, of course, technology is so advanced that there are lots and lots of things that can be done. Okay, more points on this is also given in the manual that is shared with you. Okay, Naren, does that help you?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, this class 7 PPT is not shared with us. Our बाकी सब 9 classes का PPT available है हमारे साथ.
Okay. So I'll check that out. I'll send it again. I'll tell Gurvinder to send it to you all once again. Class
Okay.
number 6, right?
7.
7. Okay. Yes, Bhakti.
Ma'am, can you give feedback on my slides and my presentation so that automatically this slide on this purpose will also be served, like as Naren asked the question related to, so what mistakes I have done and what are the
So there are
areas?
not any mistakes. Mistakes heavy. But if you can share your slideshow again, the deck, I'll be able to tell you.
Okay, okay.
Leave at this slide. Don't go into slideshow mode.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, don't because ma'am, with the slideshow, that animation will work. Without slideshow, I don't think that
No, I'm
animation.
not worried about the animation. It was
Okay,
okay. It was not too bad.
okay, okay.
But if you go to that slide where there was something that was highlighted.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now this highlight is not very clear.
Okay.
Okay, I think the reason you put it is you wanted to show the first 2 points first,
Yes.
then the
And then
next the green color, and
huh,
then the last the yellow color.
I have classified into these two should be done beforehand. These things you have to do on that particular moment, and last two will
Long
come with
term.
practice.
Okay. Then preferably give headings.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now, what classification you have done, why you have given those highlights, why you have taken those, chunks. Other than you, nobody knows.
Correct.
Okay. But it's a very good thought that we should know about it.
Hmm.
You've mentioned it, but visual learners ke liye, they may not hear every single word that you say.
Correct. And
So,
those who haven't attended it, if they see it later,
yes,
they won't be able to make out. Correct, ma'am.
that is okay. Now for the purpose of our training here in our classes, that's a different thing. You have to give an exam and things like that.
Hmm.
But in a training program, I don't think there's any correlation that baad mein they should remember everything.
Okay.
They should be able to it should be able to trigger their memory.
Hmm.
That should be the idea. So
Hmm.
don't explain everything in your slides, but
Okay.
headings here. In fact, if you had made those 3 columns or used those smart shapes,
Hmm.
it would be like you would have got 3 columns
Hmm.
coming at 3 different times
Hmm.
and without using the highlights.
Okay.
Other than that, your slides are a little simple. They're very
Hmm.
clear,
Hmm.
they're very nice, but they are
Hmm.
very simple.
Hmm.
Okay, so it is, you
Ma'am,
could add
actually,
some,
what happened, like I tried to put a design, but because of that font was getting changed, and I didn't want that. So that's
yeah,
the
every design has their own fonts.
yeah, font, and I
Mm.
didn't want that.
Okay.
So I made some changes in the font, like some italic and some bold,
Mm.
so that they are not following, they're following different fonts. So I didn't want that. That's why I
Okay.
kept the white background.
Even then, like I said, it does look simple. So what you can do is maybe add a, some, put a outline, a square
Hmm.
outline to the whole slide, or you could use some photographs.
Hmm.
Okay, or you could use some quotes. Now this is because we have so many
Hmm.
number of slides is, you can increase. You're not
Hmm.
going to show, so many people ask me, how many slides do you have? Abhi,
Hmm.
my body language class has got 120 slides plus, but they're
Hmm.
all photographs. So we are not going to spend so much time on every slide. It's just to show you, okay,
Hmm.
this is yes or no. No, negative hai. Don't lean on things. Don't put your hands
Hmm.
in your pocket.
Hmm.
All these are don't. So it takes half a second, 10 seconds, 5 seconds to move through the slides. But if you can put a quotation with the, photograph of the person who
Hmm.
said it,
Hmm.
makes more sense.
Yes.
Or if you can add a little bit of some kind of design, it will make it better. Add a footer if you, nothing else.
Okay.
Footer is, they are important to navigate. Okay. So slide number aana chahiye, footer.
Hmm.
Okay. And put your name somewhere on your slide so
Hmm.
that, anybody who's seeing it knows who's the owner of this deck.
Hmm.
So footer में the name of the author as well as the slide
Hmm.
number.
Ma'am,
Yes, Karishma.
you're saying slide number should be there in the name of the person who has made the presentation or presenting it. It will come in the bottom, right, ma'am? Footer is that.
Yeah,
That's what you
footer
meant?
is always at the bottom.
Okay, lovely, ma'am. Thank you.
You also can make headers.
Okay, ma'am.
So if you notice, all the slides that I give you has
Yeah,
a header of ISTD. Uska ek logo bhi hai.
right, ma'am.
Hmm?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
if you have your own organization, you can do that. If you're a
Okay, ma'am.
freelancer, so all these things can be done. So that just plain white and plain black ka monotony gets broken.
Right, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Hmm.
I think that's about it, Bhakti.
Any other any other slide?
Just a curious question. Why did you not want any other font?
I don't know. It was not appealing me. Frankly speaking, I didn't give, after preparing that, I didn't get much time to work on that. So the one I have seen just three, four, it didn't appeal me. So I thought, let it be simple. I don't have much time to spend on it. So that's
Okay,
why.
that's okay. That's all
Even
right.
I
I thought,
wanted to,
is there any reason why you want only this font and nothing else?
nothing, ma'am. Even I wanted to incorporate images, but I didn't get enough time for that. So that's
So
it.
yes, anytime you want to make fancy PPTs, it is very time consuming.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that. So give yourself ample time for preparation of PPT or for that matter, any other audio-visual aid.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, especially if you're showing audio visuals. So sometimes, you just embed a link over here.
Mm,
So when you click on the link, it will use your Wi-Fi to connect to the YouTube video and then show it.
mm,
And then often it happens that there's not enough bandwidth and then you can't see. Also, if you embed the video also, there are times when the volume is too low. I think that happened in my class itself. I wanted to show you a video clip of a movie, Independence Day, to talk about voice modulation. And that effect that should come of voice modulation, that will be there only if there's a certain volume. But my volume was too soft. And then I think one of you showed it then,
mm,
quickly downloaded and showed it. So backup for all technology must be available to you.
mm,
Okay, if you're going to be relying solely on PowerPoint to take you
mm,
through the session, please don't do it. Have a ready session plan printed in front of you
mm.
so that by some chance, PowerPoint is not available, you still can go ahead.
Yes.
Many companies that I go to, uh, you know, the project, if the power goes off, power supply goes off, the projector doesn't work. So your laptop is on, but projector is not on. And you're in the middle of things, you don't want to, wait for the generator to start and then, it takes about 5 minutes. You don't want to wait. So you should be able to continue without the PowerPoint. You should be that familiar with your subject.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Ma'am, now on the body language, because body language is also one of the topics. So you can give some suggestions on body language, on
Uh,
my body language, the way I presented.
okay. Uh, well, voice was good, very clear, no doubt about it. But the way your screen is put, the camera shows only from neck above.
Okay.
So I think there was a time when you folded your arms, I think, to tell,
Ah.
this is not correct.
Hmm.
And I couldn't see it mainly because, we had the screen. So you were
Hmm.
there only on the top part. And
Hmm.
I hadn't spotlighted you. That was my problem, my mistake. Maybe if I had spotlighted you, I would have got a little larger frame of you. But if you can just turn the screen down,
Okay.
see Naren's and my video,
Hmm.
we have a much bigger picture available.
Hmm.
Whereas in your case, the top part
Yes.
is all, the blur one, which we
Hmm.
don't want. You're wasting the
Hmm.
screen space. I
Hmm.
would rather get you in the whole frame.
Hmm.
Mm.
If you are in front of the laptop, you can adjust your screen from like this. Now you are looking like this. From
Hmm.
this, you can shift like this.
No, actually, my laptop is on one stand. Maybe because of that, it is coming to a height or something. Like if
No,
I.
no. Just
Uh-huh.
ऊपर का जो रहता है ना, shift
Okay.
आगे पीछे
This.
ले लो like this.
That
See,
camera
there,
lens
you got
will
it.
be nice.
Full, now I can see.
Now fine.
Yes.
It didn't click me before.
This is fine.
Now it is completely fine.
Ah,
Mm.
correct, correct.
So,
So
see, body language is not visible on camera.
Hmm, hmm,
Plus, we have a background.
hmm.
So, only now my hand goes here, you won't be able to see it.
Correct, correct.
So, what we have to do, all our body language has to be right here. Therefore, the more of you that is visible, even better. If possible, if you can stand, okay, that is even better. See, you get
Yeah.
a little bit more when you stand. Now, if you want my full face, I have to go behind. The only thing is, I need to keep coming forward to change the slide.
Slide, yeah.
I need to keep going back. And personally, I found that that is more distracting. And so I don't really stand and do it. All right.
Ma'am, was it very fast or like?
No, I don't think it was fast. It was good.
Okay.
Okay, so I think revision wise, there's nothing more to say. Just a few tips on writing your papers. Please do read the question properly and then answer. So they ask you, especially like now Bhakti said, you showed a question, right? That what body language you observe from the audience and how do you take care of it? Okay. So very often people answer what body language I should have. So I should maintain eye contact. I should smile. My hand should be this. The question is different. So read the question. I've been correcting a few papers also and every now and then. So I realized that a lot of times, the question is not read properly and fully. So if there are examples that are asked, you have to give examples. There are marks allotted to it. So 20 marks question hai. They have asked for definition. They have asked for types. They have asked for what is the interpretation of that type. And they've asked for examples. So 4 questions, 20 marks. 5 marks to rahega. You forget that example and your 5 marks are just gone suddenly. So read it properly. Make it easy for the exam, just like we do in our work, professional area. We prepare our report so that it's easy for the boss to read it. So we will have proper formatting, points, point wise लिखते हैं, point को underline करते हैं, bullets use करते हैं, you highlight some things, you use italics somewhere. Same thing I want you to do in your papers. Make it professional. This is a professional course. Don't write like the way we wrote our, exams in college. Okay. Nobody is looking at number of supplements or number of pages that you're filling. Content has to be there. Okay. So, and if you're actually writing it out, not typing, couple of pointers, use a dark pen. Okay, people scan it and then they put it and they don't have time. So very often, the scan is not very clear. Very often the paper that is used is so thin that, whatever is written can be read on the back side. Uski upar hi there is another writing. All this is scanned. So what can the examiner read? Okay, and if you make it tougher for the examiner, he's going to give you less marks. So make it easy. Same thing that I'm saying, legible handwriting, use lots of paper, use more, what do you say, thicker paper, ruled paper, use a ruled paper. Otherwise, वो ऐसा टेढ़ा 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 हो जाता है. So Mayank, you're here. Thank you very much. And would you like to present your points? You're on mute, Mayank.
Sorry, ma'am. Am I audible now?
Yes. So we
My
have
apologies.
10 more minutes
Yeah.
and we can take care of your preparation, whatever you've prepared.
Ma'am, I'll just do that. Ma'am, are my slides visible?
Yes, the
Actually,
complete window is visible. You
You
can
can
slide
put it
show.
on slideshow.
ma'am.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, ma'am. I had taken the group 9. So on that basis, I had prepared on the presentation skills which are there. In fact, which you have already explained so well that I think I have nothing much to explain. But as the questions were supposed to be given, so I have prepared some. I am unfortunately very sorry that the presentation design itself is very rudiment, ma'am, because I've just done it 5 minutes back because I just came back from one engagement.
Okay.
So I was based on that part. But as you had asked, so on the part of that, there were basic presentation. The module works on the basis of what is the introduction, preparation of the content, and then the conclusion part. So I've got a few questions prepared for that. One very basic question being, what is the purpose of an introduction, and how will you prepare an effective introduction? So, as the meaning of the introduction goes, that it is to introduce a speech or a lecture to the audience, and wherein we cover some aspects which are, as mentioned over here, the very basic thing. First, we state the topic, then we explain the purpose, what was the purpose of the lecture or the presentation or the speech. Then we also need to make the audience understand that what is the need for this lecture or presentation or the speech. So we give them a brief, maybe 1 to 2 lines on that. Then we also guide to the content. So what is going to be covered in the speech or presentation. So we give a broad, just a broad overview. And lastly, I'm sorry, ma'am, that is not the right point, ma'am. It is functions of the speech, which is there in the second box. So what are the basic functions? It is first thing is to grab the attention of the audience, because generally before we start, audience may be having some other discussions or of the previous lecture, so they may be engaging in some other kind of talks. So to get the complete audience of the attention, that is how we give the introduction. Then we state the objective, which is as we mentioned along with the topic. One of the very basic function is that we have to state the objective of conducting this event. Then we establish the credibility, that why the person who is delivering the speech is here, and what is the where have the contents come from. So what is the credibility of the content which is being delivered. When we also explain the purpose for listening, that why the audience should pay attention and understand. So what are the benefits that they will be getting out of it. So that is one of the function, and that is why that purpose has to be taken. Lastly, the glimpse of the central idea. So whatever the main content is there, we broadly cover within the introduction. Now, factors to decide the introduction is based on the nature and type of the audience. If it's a very large gathering, we are not going to have kind of a more of interactive, then maybe introduction will be of a different type. But in case the level of audience is of an intellectual level, manager level, and senior manager level, then maybe make it interactive also, and then we have to be more elaborative in the introduction itself, that what is the purpose of these kind of things. So that decides the introduction content. Later, the occasion. Occasion means what is the event, what is the time, and in what context the event is being done, that the speech or presentation is done. So that occasion also decides what kind of introduction is to be given. Lastly, the time available, definitely. If it's a very short, just a 40 minutes lecture, then introduction has to be also just of a 1 to 2 minutes. If it is a more elaborate whole day lecture or something, or series of presentations, then maybe introduction can be a little more elaborate. Rapport with the audience, definitely. In case you want to get the attention as well as build up a rapport, the introduction has to be more dramatic and more interactive. Whereas in case you just have to deliver information, then maybe just a brief introduction, kind of a story or something, and then you continue with your content. Then the attention getters. So there are some kind of attention getters points which are written in the next box also, like the Big Bang introduction. So these kind of attention getters also help us in deciding the timing also, and the various things what we want to introduce in the introduction. Relevance to the topic, definitely. It has to be relevant to topic. You cannot be telling about something else or talking about something else, whereas the content is somewhere else. Icebreaker as required, that has to be decided by the speaker. Now coming to the Big Bang introduction, as it was said, the attention getters. So these are the some of the very famous introductions which generally people are been using. That is quotations, asking first a question to get the attention of the audience and then doing it. Maybe narrating an anecdote, something from their experience, narrating maybe a small story of that content, maybe giving out some fact points, uh, maybe a compliment in the sense that they complement whatever the purpose for which this has been conducted to complement to the maybe the conducting authorities, the organizers and all. And then lastly, maybe a joke also, just to make it a little lighter for the people in case there had been a series of lectures before. So these are the kind of get attention getters which are generally used. So as suggested by this one of the question. Second question was what I have suggested is state purpose of the conclusion and mention ways to make it effective. So as we understand, conclusion is something which facilitates the completion of a speech, wherein you are able to convey to the audience also, okay, here now I have completed my content and I am now going to give a conclusion, or in the conclusion that we mentioned generally, okay, here I have delivered whatever I was supposed to convey, and then after that cover it with some other thing. Now, for preparing a good conclusion, it has to be, first thing is very much clarifying the topic once again. It's kind of a revision. So what we started with in the introduction, giving a broad overview, once again a broad overview of what has been covered and what was the aim of the lecture. Then review the significant points. A very good way of generally doing is to summarize whatever important point was there, or some other ways, maybe interactive, asking the audience only, okay, what are the important points you remember? That way, reviewing the significant points which have been mentioned. Concluding devices mentions whatever various ways in which you can conclude it. One of the ways, challenges, that you can mention now after having attended of the lecture. Now, what are the challenges with the audience? So that can be there. Quotation, you can quote someone to conclude the lecture. Quotation relevant to the topic. And definitely then summary is very the common one, where you summarize the topics which have been covered broadly, the broad subject. Appeal for action, that you can leave with a note that now that you know this, what are the further actions you will like to do? What are the actions expected out of the audience now, hereafter? Inspiring device, somewhere or to learn something extra, maybe step on to the next level and that kind of a thing. And maybe with the advice that even if this has been done, this lecture has been given, but you're still advised to maybe study something more, or you're advised to take care of some other things, or maybe lastly also that this should not be, maybe the content should not be taken as the ultimate authority and more elaborate efforts should be done. So there are the basic device concluding, I'll say the types of conclusion which can be taken. Further, after conclusion comes the important part, which is generally
Mayank, can I
asking about the
interrupt you,
query.
please?
Yes,
Mayank,
please,
your voice has suddenly got very soft.
maybe because of my internet connection. No? If you may I remove the headphone and then normal laptop, or it is okay?
No,
No,
can't.
it compressed as compared to what we were able to hear previously.
So maybe internet because of internet connection.
Or maybe if you are using wireless, this microphone and headphone, so maybe the battery may be low.
Might have gone weak. I will just remove this.
Just try speaking like that.
Ma'am, can you hear me now?
Yeah, okay.
This
Means
better?
better.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, is it okay, ma'am? May I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay, ma'am. So coming to the point of answering the queries, that is one of the very important aspect in most of the speech or the presentation or the lectures. We have to be very much be aware of the topic, and then how do we interact? First thing, we give an open forum to the audience and ask them whether they have any queries or something related to that. And in case they ask some questions, we have to be very careful that we have to gradually It may be a very random question, somewhere related, some may not be related also, somewhere may be a little irrelevant question. But still, as a speaker, we have to be very cautious. We have to respond to the query which has come and should not be reactive. Definitely, sometimes there are controversial questions also which are asked. So the speaker has to maintain the calm and have to understand what is to be replied. Do not cover up the ignorance. So that is a very important point, that as a speaker also, in case there is something which has been asked which is beyond the content or which was not covered also but relevant to the topic, the speaker should own up, should confess for the same, and then he should convey that I am not aware of that, maybe I can come back on this aspect, or the same can be shared later. Very important thing, that reply to the entire audience. That means you should never be replying only to the one particular person or the chief guest or maybe the one person. It should always be open to the complete forum, and you should be trying to have a eye contact with as many as possible, as well as replying to all, to make sure that it is being given to the all. Next point already said, ma'am, that you have to maintain eye contact to all, and the speaker should keep changing the view so that he is addressing as many as in the audience as possible. And lastly, as a receiving feedback is something may not be mandatory, may not be necessary, but at some times somebody, maybe you like to, the speaker may just like to mention that in case of any particular feedback, maybe the email is given, mobile number is given or something, and you can give me a feedback to improve in the further. So my way, as I could see in the study material, so this is the way how we can go ahead with the conclusion part. Ma'am, third question is Hmm, is about
Mayank, you'll
how
have to
to
go very
develop.
fast. We have already crossed our time. So
Sorry,
five
ma'am. I'll
minutes.
just
Mhm.
then I will just very quickly finish it, which is actually very much already explained by you. That is the how to develop effective content for presentation. I have completely taken it directly from the study material, ma'am. Unfortunately, I had not put the reference things, but I'll put it again before sharing to others. That the how to develop is that before developing, we have to organize the material, collect the material, put it in logical order. It has to be in sequential way, which helps in developing the knowledge. And it should not be abruptly we going on the last part first, first part later. Should not happen. And we should deliver, we should have a rehearsal for the deliver, and deliver is as per plan. In the how to present material properly, definitely the bullet points, the data should be there, relevant data, photo, videos, the story can be given, example can be given, or a demonstration can be shown. In the main part, the focus, the important thing comes is that we must explain the topic, the facts, and whatever exercises have been there. Then clear logical structure should be there, use images and graphics, focus on the essentials, and make presentation interactive when the main content is there. That is very much important part of the for delivery of content. So these are the three questions which I could gather from the presentation, and basically from your presentation only, ma'am. Maximum things points have been taken, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Mayank. Very well done. I think you have captured the essence of the entire class in these three questions.
Ma'am, thanks a lot, ma'am. My apology, ma'am. I've been a little late because of some engagement that I wanted to present for the other group one and group two also. But I am sure Narenji would have already done that. My apology for that, ma'am.
No issues, no worries. I understand everybody is busy and have got a lot of work to do.
Ma'am, I am actually looking forward for your lectures more in the third semester. I already missed semester one and two because of my official engagements. But hopefully in the next semester, I will be attending more. And definitely we have been looking forward for your lectures, ma'am.
Well, thank you, but I'm not teaching any subject for the last semester. Third semester, I'm not teaching.
Oh,
But
ma'am,
I am
my bad,
always
ma'am.
available. You can get in touch with me anytime. All my slides at the end have my email ID and my telephone numbers. Feel free to get in touch with me in case you have any queries or anything, just for fun, also, no problem at all. I'll be really happy to keep connected, being connected with all of you.
We'll do that. We'll do that.
And
Thanks a lot,
can you
ma'am.
share your mobile number and email ID in the chat and also here, right here?
Just.
The mobile number given at the bottom of the slides belongs to ISTD, no, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes,
At
because
last slide, we'll have mine.
okay, last slide. Okay.
But anyway, I've given it here, my email ID as well as my number.
Right, right. Thank you so much.
Okay, so all our classes are over. And I wish you all the best, not only for your exam, like I'm sure you will do well in your exam, that's not a big deal, but in all your future endeavors. I tried to make this class, both, a little bit more practical of what you can do in your own professional life, as well as a little bit content driven so that you can all appear for exams. So I tried to do this. I hope I have succeeded. And I wish you all the best. And I thank all of you for attending, sincerely participating during the classes. Otherwise, it gets very, very boring. So thanks a lot and my best wishes to all of you.
You also, ma'am, on behalf of all the participants, I also like to thank you. Your presentations were truly engaging. Means आपने जो यहाँ पे जितने content cover किया हम सबके लिए, you are truly have implemented all of those into all your sessions.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Naren, those are really kind words and I really appreciate them a lot.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Actually, you made us internalize those concepts, and the
Yes.
way you बहुत ही ठहराव के साथ in a very nice tone and everything. I don't know how you manage. I don't know. My speed exceeds, but you're in a very nice and tone and everything. You have managed it so well. So much of content was there, but the way you have presented and how to present the content in that particular time, it was very nicely you have done, and the questions we have asked you, you have given so apt answers that like yes, this is the answer I was looking for. So just wonderful. It was just
Thank you so
wonderful.
much. I really appreciate these kind words.
And
This is
just Simantini ma'am, just a small addition. I think everybody has covered everything, but one more point. I think you have a very warm presence, even on the virtual calls. I am sure if we get to meet you in person, you'll be more warmer. But even on the virtual call, it comes across very strongly, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Really, really. Oh my. What do you say? Emotional, touchy moment that, movie, Munna Bhai.
You're very warm, ma'am. You're very warm.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Actually,
madam,
I
thank you
felt
so
like you are
much.
treating us like your kid.
Yeah, sincerely thanking for your all efforts. We have understood that many, common things are not so common, which we have learned from you in the communication and presentation. There are many things like seems very common, but they are not so common. So sincere thanks from my end as well.
Thank you so much, sir. No, thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So all the best
Thank
to
you.
you
Thanks a lot.
and I'll see you sometime. Bye.
If
We
I
will
come to
definitely.
Pune, I will meet you, ma'am.
Please, please, definitely. All are welcome. Please give me a call and we can meet up.
Sure,
Sure.
sure, ma'am.
That's so
Okay.
nice. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you
Have a
very
good
much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.